Okay, so this of course was the go home Raw for the Elimination Chamber. Also the Raw before Valentine's Day. So I guess it will be a Valentine's Day Raw. If you like the shirt, it's one of the Valentine's Day gifts I got for my wife. Thank you, hon. Love you. So we'll get right off. They start off with the debate where it had a 45-second time limit in which to talk when only one person got buzzed, and that was, of course, The Miz. The benefit of that format is we don't have to hear everyone's theme song when they come out to interrupt whoever's talking. But with the exception of CM Punk and his little verbal tie right off the bat, Jericho calling everybody neophytes, and Kofi Kingston kind of going, you think I'm an afterthought? I believe the Chamber is a champion. And I thought, you know, it'd be awesome. Have Kofi win, then have Kofi get challenged by Sheamus at WrestleMania. A match that nobody would ever remotely pick to be at WrestleMania. And they talked about how each one, the competitors, will have a match against each other. First match, of course, being Jericho Kingston. Solid match. Very solid match. Even the match between Orton and Big Show, with the exception of the Phantom RKO that Big Show took. A good match. It's the blew the finish. Always horrible to see. And then Daniel Bryan did a run-in, so kind of made the kind of a moot point. You know, Raw's chamber looks pretty solid. SmackDown's chamber, I can only really see Daniel Bryan getting a clean pin off of somebody like Rhodes, or else someone else have to, you know, knock on the Big Show and he'll pin the Big Show. But I don't know. I'm still wishing they would give him at least one clean victory. At least one. At least something. Even if it's a fluke clean pin, just something. The match with R-Truth and Ziggler. Surprisingly pretty good. With R-Truth picking up, you know, the surprise victory. Good job on that. Really good job on that. The promo that was done between Triple H and HBK, probably one of the best promos we have heard in a long time. You know, HBK kind of going like, you know, you've been challenged like a man. If you don't accept the challenge of a man, you're a coward. Then H going, this is all going to be mine. Taker's a brand. You know, we're the last three guys of this era. You're retired. I'm pretty much done. Taker is the last guy from our era. I'm not going to finish him. If I finish him, what do I gain from it? They're actually pretty, you know, really, really solid promo. Those two guys put on an absolute clinic when it comes to having two guys on the mic who are very solid. You know, that was just a fantastically well done promo. And then they go from that to Taker talking about the match that he wants to have and cutting his hair with a razor blade. I had no idea what they were trying to do with that. I wish instead he would have, you know, showed him like cutting Stephanie's hair or Aurora Rose's hair, you know, something else, not just cutting his own hair, unless he's going to show up looking crazy for a while. It just doesn't really. You go from that fantastic promo to a video package, which is normally pretty powerful, but occasionally they show Taker cutting his hair, talking about how Triple H owes him one more match to help him retain his immortality. Good from a psychological standpoint, but him cutting his hair made no sense. Zack Ryder was backstage an awful lot tonight because he's going to profess his love to Eve. And then at some point in time, Kane forced Eve into the back of an ambulance, but we never saw the part where he was forcing her in the ambulance, just her getting into it and locking the door, and then John Cena beating up Kane, and Kane driving off, and Eve hopping out of the back of the ambulance, and into John Cena's waiting arms, and then pretty much stuffing her tongue down John Cena's throat to lick the back of his tonsils. Something that, of course, Zack Ryder saw. So therefore, now John Cena and Zack are no longer friends. it was actually finally the twist that that story arc really, really needed. There needed to be something that would put this, nice, perfect wedge in between the friendship of Zack Ryder and John Cena. I think I revisited at the very end of the show. I think you had The Miz take on CM Punk. Really solid match. When Miz is in the ring with somebody who can actually kind of wrestle, and we get good chemistry with, like somebody like CM Punk, puts on a really solid match. And of course, he tapped the Anaconda Vice. And then we got to end with John Cena calling out Kane, and instead, in a wheelchair, neck brace with back brace, Zack Ryder comes down. And even though Zack is in a wheelchair and there's a ramp, he takes crutches to get down into the ring, gets into John Cena's face, actually smacks him, says that they're not friends, goes to smack him again, and John's getting ready to punch him in the face. Would have been pretty good to see John Cena punch him, because John ended up before that cutting a promo about how he's just going to adapt and overcome and win because that's what he does. He's not going to change for me. He's not going to become a heel. He's going to do what he always does, which is repeatedly win matches and then get booed and then not know why he's getting booed, because regardless of whatever happens, he's always perfect and he's always going to win. He is the Superman of the WWE universe, when I think people would prefer him to be the Spider-Man of the WWE universe. Somebody who does lose, who gets frustrated, who occasionally does the best that he can, and something else happens and he loses. That's entirely great. People want somebody relatable. Currently, John does tremendous amounts of charity work. He does all these fantastic things, for Make-A-Wish Foundation and whatnot. And then in the ring, he almost never loses. No matter what happens, he comes back and he perseveres and he wins. It does get him kind of dull after a while. He pretty much defeats everybody. Beyond his feud with CM Punk, the best feud he had before that was with Batista. And he beat Batista with duct tape. So hopefully now, the idea that when Ryder comes back, he's more than likely going to attack John Cena. Maybe Ryder can actually be a strong enough opponent to give John Cena something fresh to deal with. So after Zack hobbles his way back up to his wheelchair, Kane shows up. Kane then pushes Zack Ryder's wheelchair off the side of the ramp, and you see Zack just splay out and land from the edge of the ramp to the barricade. And we saw it a dozen times. Just going, there's no good way to take in a wheelchair and just being rocketed off the side. So all in all, they did a pretty good job when it comes to hyping the inconsequential match. That's the ambulance match, where regardless of what happens, John Cena's taking on The Rock at WrestleMania, and Kane has no match going on. And also, again, another week where there's no Brodus Clay. You'd think out of anything, you would have Brodus Clay in a match, coming out in either a hot pink suit or a white suit with hearts all over it. It's really, really played up his weird, goofy gimmick for a pre-Valentine's Day, but 2 weeks in a row and no Brodus Clay. Oh, I did forget that there's one other match that happened. Tamina squashed one of the Bellas, which leads to a match of Elimination Chamber. No, not a Chambers match for the Divas title. That's far too creative. Tamina versus Beth Phoenix. Meh. Let me know they're going to do Phoenix calling.